commentary, skeptics, and of course the average entertainer. Hey, I'm Ichabod. I've been wanting to do a serious video for a while, looking at my opinions about the communities I've followed. Not really am a part of, but that's just how it is. I don't really like the idea of following anyone, we're all independent and all that. Let me preface this video by saying that despite the fact that I'm making this video, it's just my opinion. Form your own as well. Where I may talk about how I feel, that doesn't mean it's gospel. Starting off light. People like me, the average entertainers. Look, while I understand there are a lot of people who go by the title YouTuber or content creator, at its most base level, we're entertainers. People who try to give a little bit of their personality in exchange for views or occasionally money. While many of us aren't exactly the most entertaining people in the world, we consider ourselves to be decent at least. I myself feel my content is subpar compared to some of my peers. And because of that, I get a lot out of the small audience I have. Views and likes mean a lot to me, but the best part is having the strength to ignore the downvotes or somewhat dickish comments. You will get those. And you have to read them, because even if they are shouting their heads off with some random crap, they could be something valuable. They're somewhere you can take to heart. The main trap I see in many of the people who refuse identification into a particular subgenre is getting into fights. Where you may have a legitimate issue with someone, there isn't a lot of reason to make it bold-faced public. You're gonna have trouble if you do, and it won't just hit the person you're swinging at. It'll hit you back as well. People like myself try to stay pretty neutral on subjects, choosing instead of becoming an influencer, to instead stay with the middle-of-the-road person who makes you laugh or think. Because at the end of the day, that's what I want, for you guys to laugh, to get entertainment out of my content. Comedy at its finest. Innocent, yet raunchy and sometimes offensive. Next, we're going to walk into a little bit of a dark area. Commentary. Where I watch a lot of these YouTubers, both political and not, they tend to have an ego problem, and that's just the biggest shock of them all. I don't really expect it en masse, but I have noticed if someone's covering a topic, they want you to conform to what their choices or opinions are. I don't particularly care what you believe so long as you don't hurt anyone else. While I may feel an opinion is stupid or misguided, that doesn't mean it is. I could be misinformed or just outright wrong about something. It does happen, and it's important to realize that. Nobody's always right, and certainly nobody is 100% on it. Everyone makes mistakes, and the people we care about, they should be the ones that own up to those mistakes and take responsibility. While we as a viewership enjoy these creators, we may be putting the wrong ones on the pedestal, people whose egos flare at 10,000 subs. And they start acting like Jesus. Probably shouldn't be the ones we sit and focus on all the time, giving hard-earned money and energy to. Again, I may not be right on this, but with all the possible future mundane mats, I've seen it's something to keep an eye on. There's nothing wrong with being proud of something you've achieved, but there is a difference between being proud and having an ego. At any time, your audience could outright abandon you. We've seen it many times in the past. Hell, if you don't believe me, check out Mr. Medicre's videos. He goes into detail about a few YouTubers that fall from grace and have their channels just die out of the blue. Interests shift, and so do personalities. So don't think of YouTube as your forever home. Always aim higher than what you are now. I know that I do occasionally, but I don't really see myself getting too far in YouTube. Finally, and this is the one that really threw me off, the skeptics. This one's a touchy subject for me. I watched quite a few of them for a long time and enjoyed what they did. People looking at a topic without bias and figuring out reality instead of their subjective opinion. It was appealing, but that never was what it was it? No. Time and time again, we saw certain skeptics get embroiled and throw their political or personal opinions in on a topic, leading to either controversy or pure chaos. We have enough examples, and again, the purpose of this video isn't to throw shade at anyone, but to give a detailed set of my opinions. I encourage everyone to look at what I'm talking about yourselves, and see what I mean instead of just letting me. I can be wrong, and that's not awful, just human. I'm keeping this section short because I don't want to get anyone riled up, but in the end, you do need to look into a lot of what these things are. In closing, I want to stress that these aren't every person in these groups. There are bad actors everywhere. Despite that, without any real understanding, people can get taken in by someone who sounds like they have authority, but in the end are really just your average Joe spouting their opinion on the internet. You can do better as a whole, and rather than directing anything here in one community, I'd like to give you a thought. Instead of listening to me or anyone else about any community you're in, look through them yourselves, go through everything you can find, good or bad, and form your opinion based on that. If you find anyone to be too much or just off, don't watch them. Because when you see those behaviors, even if you're downvoting, that's still engagement. Any reinforcement, be it positive or negative, is still what content creators want. So instead of giving that, starve them out. And maybe you'll just improve a community you're in instead of giving the ones that made it that way more power to keep good folks down. Anyway, I've got raccoon shit to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I do like to hear your opinions, and if I've said anything out of line here, please feel free to put it in the description, and I can feature it in a future video if you'd like. See you guys next time.